Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Oh, what a beautiful tsunami-free Wednesday morning it is here in Oxnard, California, at the corner of Vineyard and Ventura. The sun is shining bright, the marine layer is lifting, and we are ready for two-a-days. Not two practices today, but two practices the next 2 days. That's right. Cowboys will be back on the practice field after a much-deserved day off yesterday. Bill Jones, Mickey Spagnola, and Nate Newton. And, yes, we were afraid last night.
Yes. We were on Tsunami watch.
We were.
This team's still going to try to kill me, I swear to God.
I tell you what, I can't think of the young lady I was talking to once at the time. She came up kind of like in a panic, tsunami this and tsunami that, and, had a phone out. I almost packed all of my clothes and just started heading to Arizona, bro.
I'm getting texts from my family. My daughter
almost left
Jordan,
last night.
And my son-in-law, Sean, they were sending me all this information about tsunamis and an 8.8 earthquake, a tsunami. It could reach up to 3 miles from the coast. And so I was just thanking God that I was on the 4th floor of my hotel.
Oh, man, I don't trust nothing. I don't want to leave.
Well, at least we were 5 miles from the coast, so we were somewhat safe. But when I went up after I talked to you, I went to the ladies at the front desk at the hotel. We're all in the same spot, right? And I said, do we need to go up to the 4th floor? And she goes, we'll let you know. We got an alarm system. We're monitoring it.
I did watch the Weather Channel.
I did too. I watched CNN. I hadn't watched any TV at night at all.
The Weather Channel had Honolulu local.
Yes, that's what I was getting.
On, and so I was watching that all the way and watching the live cams of Oahu and Maui and seeing what happened there. But anyway, all right, that's behind us now, I think.
I got schooled.
The advisory is off now.
Is it?
Yeah.
They said we still got to be watching.
Yeah, but the advisory for California has been lifted.
Okay, so we're good.
For us anyway.
So my friends that live like a block from the sand, they're okay? They don't have to head out?
Don't rely on me for that information.
Okay.
Well,
let's
here we
go.
are. Yeah, here we are. It's we've had 3 straight day of practices going back to Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. 2 of those in pads. A day off. Now 2 days in pads today and tomorrow. A day off on Friday, and then back at it on Saturday. But in the meantime, since we last were here, there's been some news that has happened.
Well, we've had some injuries, right?
That's right.
I'm trying to remember.
Two injuries
days.
within 24 hours' time were announced anyway. At the end of, let's start with Tyler Guyton.
Tyler Guyton.
And Terrence Steele, by the way, did return to practice on Monday.
Yes, he did.
Tyler Guyton, at the end of practice on Monday, goes down with an injury and a bone bruise, right knee, sprained knee. 4 to 6 weeks is the prognosis.
And that was the best news, because when he was helped off the field, Nate, and, when he was down and all the guys were around him on a knee, which is never a good sign, and then Dr. Cooper, the Cowboys orthopedic surgeon, walked off with him, and they didn't send any medical intern off with him. They sent the main guy, and the word was, it looks bad. And then the MRI came back, and it ended up being a bone bruise, a fractured bone at the kneecap, and it was almost a relief. When you hear 4 to 6, we haven't hit August yet. So there's 4 weeks right there before the season ever starts. So, I think they head faked one.
In fact, the season starts 5 weeks from tomorrow.
5 weeks from. I think I had figured out when I was writing, it was 36 days away. So, yeah, they got fortunate, and this is going to give opportunities some of those young guys, Nate, that you've been wanting to see out there,
Yes,
to give them a chance.
Yes, and unlike many other training camps, they're too deep at each position. So, I spoke to one of the personnel guys and said, "Hey, I guess this is Austin Rich's opportunity." They said, "No, it's Nate Thomas' opportunity."
Seventh-round pick last year, number 71.
Early in camp, they're going to stick with their two-man roster, and if a guy goes down, they have a guy that comes in behind them because they say they want to make sure this thing stays highly competitive and everybody gets a true chance here early in camp to show what you can do. So we'll be looking at Nate Thomas, that's number 71 at left tackle, and still Austin Richards is your second-team right tackle. So, but what I want to say before we cover the other injuries is this is very, very unfortunate for Guyton. He needs training camp. We have a new offensive line coach. We have basically a new system being put in, new techniques, and once again, this kid is finna miss a whole training camp. And when you're coming from behind the 8 ball and you've had a so-so year before, now you're trying to regain confidence. You're trying to regain your technique and your aggressiveness. And here we are. I feel bad for Tyler Guyton.
Well, you brought up Nate Thomas, and I was talking to someone that should know about the offensive line, and told me that this kid's going to be good. They're high on Nate Thomas, so we'll see how that plays out.
The head coach brought him up unsolicited early
Right.
in his press conferences in this training camp.
Yeah, and I think we all assumed that when they went to second team, it was going to be Austin Richards there.
Yes.
But it was not. It was Nate Thomas. They're using Austin Richards at guard. They're using him at right tackle. They're sort of moving him
Everywhere.
moving him around.
Everywhere. But
everywhere.
Nate Thomas, from what I understand, that is his position. They're not going to try to put him at right tackle. They're not going to try to put him at right guard. They want to see, can he get at one position and mature at that one position and be the best he can at the left tackle.
And
that
I thought
is the early deal.
I thought Clayton Adams said an interesting thing about Tyler Guyton when somebody asked how he was doing or whatever, and he says, I usually reserve judgment on a player's kind of ability, future, until they get 20 starts under their belt.
Yes.
And so I thought that was that gave you an idea of not overreacting to somebody that does not have a lot of experience, not only in the NFL but in college playing left tackle. So he put it at 20 starts. I think he had 14 last year, if I remember correctly. And so the chance to talk to the coordinators I thought was interesting yesterday. I thought we got a lot of good stuff out of not only Clayton Adams, but also Matt Eberflus. I didn't get to listen to Sorensen. We had some TV stuff to do at that time. But I thought those two guys were really good. Why do I hear these booms? There's something like...
Mickey, you're what Bill Parcells calls a distractible player.
No, I'm adding color to our broadcast here.
You got all the color you need. I'm here.
Oh!
You know, Nate Thomas, out of Louisiana, okay, which used to be called Louisiana Lafayette.
Yes.
Okay. And he was a starter at left tackle in his college career. Started 12 games his senior year. His junior year started 13 games for the Raging Cajuns. Last year, being a 7th-round draft pick, of course, he was here in camp. He was placed on IR with a knee injury in late August last year. And so last year was spent on IR. It was basically a redshirt year, which was what they expected even coming in to the year after drafting him. That 6'5", 330 pounds is what he is listed, and so throw him out there and see what he can do.
You know, and the way they do things, you know, he'll get a lot of work. I mean, they run a lot of plays. He gonna face Sam Williams, Fowler. He gonna face a lot of guys, a lot of different styles, a lot of different. So he'll get caught up to speed with the different looks he would get from the defensive ends that are out there. So let's give him an opportunity.
Remind me, last year, did he get put on the practice squad or did he get
IR.
released in that? Oh, he IR.
IR,
Okay.
yes.
I knew there was something that he.
You're paying too much attention to the booms around here.
Yeah,
No, I'm trying to remember.
He, I think from the little information we got is they put him where they needed for him to be.
That's right.
Yeah,
He
right.
was by him coming from Louisiana Tech or Lafayette or whatever they want to call it.
ULL.
Yeah, whatever they want to call it. They they say he needed a little bit weight room work.
Yep.
He needed a little maturity, and that year gave him that opportunity. And they say now he's leaps and bounds a different guy than what he was last year.
Do you know any other offensive linemen in NFL history named Nate who maybe needed that when they came out of
Oh,
college?
yeah, I needed it bad. I'm glad the USFL came because I got some great help in the USFL. So, yeah, sometimes when you come from a smaller school, you may have the body size and some of the skill sets, but sometimes you need that maturity to help you along.
And he will turn 24 on August 22nd, by the way. So the other injury that was announced at the beginning of the day yesterday, Kalen Carson, second-year cornerback, fifth-round draft pick last year, who started 5 games last year, also out 4 to 6 weeks with reportedly with a hyperextended knee.
And that's unfortunate because he suffered that shoulder injury last year, tried to play through it, and was not the same player that we saw out here in training camp that earned him the start in the season opener, I believe it was. And so he had off-season surgery, and now, you get back here and then right away with the hyperextended knees, so he's going to miss some time. And that cornerback position's getting pretty thin.
It's now 4 cornerbacks who are dealing with knee injuries. And you look at Savone Revel, your
2 guys that
third-round
came here
draft pick,
with
Trayvon Diggs,
Yeah.
and Josh Butler coming off an ACL, and now you add Kalen Carson.
So
Those are 4 cornerbacks who, well, for sure 3 of the 4 are for sure
we're going to make
regulars, and
Yeah.
Josh Butler had a real good chance as well, the way he played last year.
They were going to be
if healthy.
They were going to be top 4 corners in the rotation. Revel, my understanding is that I was talking to him, and he said he's doing better, but he's got to now get confidence. And we always forget this. So when they repair your ACL, they take a portion of your patella tendon in your good knee, and that's what they reconstruct the ACL with. And he said that he's still having to concentrate rehabbing the good knee where they took the patella tendon out. So that's going to take some time. And then Diggs, while he seems to be moving well, they got to get his conditioning up. And I can see when he's doing those the resistance cord things with Britt Brown that he gets to a point and then he's got to take a knee. He's out of breath. So while he was rehabbing away from the place, and maybe you're rehabbing from the surgery, you also got to increase your conditioning. And so that's one thing. And they've only had him for a week. Think about it. To work with them, and got a late start with Revel because he was in college then, so they didn't get him until after the draft. So those 2 guys still have some work to do before they're going to be put in pads. I asked, you'll like this, Nate. I asked Revel. I said, when do you think you're going to be ready? And he said, whenever Britt tells me. I said, okay, that's a good barometer.
None of these corners, besides, Diggs, we don't know a lot about. this training camp is huge. New defensive coordinator, new defensive back coach, so new system. So this is big. They're gonna have to hit the ground running once the trainer, releases them to come to practice. They got to hit the ground running. This is kind of unique.
And you got to be careful, because the thing that I always know about these trainers is once they release them, they don't want them back. They want to make sure they're good to go and they don't have any regression there. And as Bill said, with the number of corners dealing with injuries, they ended up signing Christian Matthew, corner that Eberflus had with the Bears, I think, two years ago.
He was on the practice squad with the Bears 2 years ago. He was with the Ravens last year. He was drafted in the 7th round by Arizona in 2022 and actually got into some games his rookie year there before he was signed away by the Bears.
So more than anything, they just needed bodies at cornerback.
Interesting on him. He was in college for 7 years.
What?
He started at Georgia Southern in
COVID?
like 2015.
2015.
Georgia Southern transferred to Samford, transferred to Valdosta State, and in 2022 was a 7th round draft pick. He's 28 years. He'll be 29 during this season, so he's not a young pup coming in here at cornerback.
So they just need bodies at those positions. One injury that kind of got pushed into the background because of what happened with Rob Jones and Guyton.
And Carson is Brevin Spanford.
Yes, exactly. That's the guy. It's like, remember, he walked off during the scrimmage.
So we went the first 4 ramp-up practices with no injury issues. And they practiced 2 days in pads, and all of a sudden we count 4 right there.
No more padded practices. We're not playing football.
And even a guy like Let's-Go was not practicing on Monday either.
And neither is Wanye Thomas.
And Wanye Thomas has been out, and so all of a sudden.
And that's a shame, because Spanford was really starting to show that.
And you're saying high ankle sprain on him.
Yeah. So we'll see how that one goes. Yeah, there was a lot of things that overshadowed his injury, including Jake Ferguson signing his extension.
All right, when we come back, you want to dive into what the coordinator said yesterday?
Yeah,
we'll do that. In the meantime, during this break, I'm going to go get some sunscreen because that sun is beating down here in Oxnard, California. More Mick shots in just a moment.
Oh, no, they're bringing us flowers.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
AT&T has a new guarantee because most things in life are not guaranteed, like getting through self-checkout by yourself.
Warning, each item must be placed in the bagging area.
Not guaranteed.
Place item in the bagging area. Place item in the bagging area.
You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, deals you want, and service you deserve. Or we make it right. Terms and conditions apply. Visit att.com/guarantee for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
The National Medal of Honor Museum is now open in Arlington, Texas, just a few blocks from AT&T Stadium. Immersive exhibits and exciting technology allow you to fly a rescue helicopter mission in Vietnam and have conversations with virtual Medal of Honor recipients. Come be inspired by these incredible stories of ordinary Americans who did the extraordinary. Get your tickets at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Shots.
Cowboys Nation, 2025 Dallas Cowboys training camp presented by American Airlines is here, and we're here to prove it. Head to sunny Oxnard, California from July 22nd through August 13th to watch the team practice as they get ready for the season. Admission is free. For more information, visit dallascowboys.com/training camp.
You know, I've got an idea. Producer Supreme over there is monitoring things, and he's making sure we get on the air and all that stuff. And his speaker over there, we can kind of hear that in the background, which is not a distraction at all, even for Mickey.
Even he brought it up. I didn't.
What made me think, though, is you know, we got fans out here in the parking lot. They line up in their cars every day. When I come here, when you come here, 8 o'clock in the morning, they're already lined up. And now, then they open the parking lot up, and then those fans are able to stand at the gate over there by the big stage that Nate likes to perform on so much to entertain the fans. What they need to do is put speakers out there and put Mick Shots on so those fans can listen to us as they're waiting to come to practice.
Because they used to listen to Nate.
Yeah.
Chris going to bring that up in the next meeting.
Put some wireless speakers out there. They can pick up the show, and that way they can be entertained.
And informed.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. They do have a DJ out there, but he's
DJ Blackbeard. Used to be DJ Sexual Chocolate. He's DJ Blackbeard.
All right, it was a day off on the practice field anyway for the players, but it's never a day off for us in the media out here at Cowboys camp, right? And yesterday the coordinators were made available to us. They all were at the podium individually, and starting with Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator, Clayton Adams, the offensive coordinator, and then Nick Sorensen, the special teams coordinator, who Mickey decided he didn't need to go listen to.
No, as my other bosses decided I didn't need to listen to.
All right. So it's great having Eberflus back.
Yes, absolutely. And the thing that he said that caught my attention when he was asked about the key to run defense. And he said, teamwork. And he brought up a little quote from Rod Marinelli, the Cowboys' former defensive coordinator, who he worked for as the linebackers coach when he was here the first time around. And he said, Marinelli used to say, there's no guests on defense, meaning he wants everybody.
No house guests.
Thank you. And he wants everybody contributing, and he said to have a good defense, the cornerbacks have to tackle.
Yes.
And so, you know, everybody looks at the defensive tackles, that's their responsibility to stop the run. But his point was we need all 11 guys playing to stop the run. And he was talking about, you know,
that would mean pass rushers, too.
Yeah.
Rather than pinning your ears back to go after the quarterback.
All the time and trying to make a bigger contract,
on the way to the
right?
Quarterback.
Yeah. And he was talking about, you know, somebody brought up his history of stopping the run, right? And so I went back and looked. The last two times the Cowboys have had losing seasons, so 2020 and last year, 2024, they finished 31st and 29th against the run. Now, I don't know if that's just a coincidence or if it's foreboding that you better be able to play the run if you're going to have a winning record.
Yeah, especially with the division that you're playing in, with the running backs and quarterbacks that had ability to move and run. You have to be dominant. You can't be average. Not in the NFC East. You're going to have to be dominant in stopping the run if you want to be in any of these games that we play. And even New York, with their quarterback, they still going to have to run the ball. So you're facing your toughest competition right within the East. I mean, so it better be a team concept or a team goal is to stop the NFC East from running against you the most.
You listened to Eberflus, didn't you?
Yes.
What stood out to you?
Me being the president of the Sean Lee fan club, and
Yes,
we just talked
yes.
about Sean Lee. My ears perk up when he talks about linebackers because he's a linebacker guru of sorts, and so I'm also intrigued about what's going to happen in this linebacking group. 57 Jack Sanborn, who played for him in Chicago, has been lining up with the ones at middle linebacker. Kenneth Murray was alongside him when Murray was back. I assume Murray may be back today. I haven't heard.
I haven't either, but
he
it's
was
been
left
a while,
for the
right?
birth of his child. And then with Maris Leofau and even Damone Clark.
He's seeing more action.
Yes, that's right. I think
He's seeing more action.
The coaching
used him in
changes
place
done him
of,
some good.
Murray with
Right.
Murray absent.
Right.
And I think the thing that he said, and he used Sean Lee as the example, is that you don't have to be this big hulking linebacker. You got to be smart and be able to move.
Yes.
And I think that's what he sees in Sanborn, who looks like he's more of a cerebral middle linebacker than anything else.
And the other thing was him talking about the play style of his defense.
Right.
He said it's not for everybody. And when he gets hired here in January, this was a team that had a lot of holes to fill, and so he was able to study whether it's linebackers, corners, defensive linemen, whatever it might be, that fit his system, which is a running, aggressive style of defense. You better be in shape, and you better love to run because we're going to run. And he said that's not for everybody, and if we figure out it's not for you, then you're not going to be here very long.
When is the last time we had a coaching staff, and this may not come out right, but when is the last time we had a coaching staff that is saying all the right things, but when it comes time for player personnel moves, will ownership allow you to make these moves?
Does the player personnel moves match up with what the coaches want to coach?
Yes.
I think the key on that is you have to have a coaching staff that communicates well with the scouting department.
Yes.
I think one of the greatest strengths that Schottenheimer has is obvious is his communication ability and his willingness. And not just willingness, but he goes over the top in connecting with the scouts. I mean, he got that job and he hits the ground running, not only connecting with the coaches that he's hired, but getting them on the same page with the scouts. During the whole draft process, he takes the entire coaching staff to the scouting combine in Indianapolis. Yeah, part of that is getting to know each other and bonding and getting work done during downtime there, but they're also invested in the draft process. Schottenheimer goes to, he went to, I think, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, scouting players. Eberflus went to a couple of those places where they got defensive players. And so that's one of the biggest misnomers about Jerry, is that Jerry does his own thing. Now, Jerry listens to what the coaches say, and you have 100%. To have a head coach and a coaching staff that understand that's the way it's set up here. You have the opportunity to go get your players, and you can influence the decision makers.
And like I said earlier, it's 2 players per position, creating competition. And we've seen where the next guy has stepped up early in this training camp. But when the season starts, will you have that same mentality? What if, let's say, if a non-drafted guy actually, on paper, on film, in the scrimmages, in the preseason, outplay the drafted guy? Will you have the authority to say, hey, Mick beat out Nate?
Mm-hmm.
We should think, I think our team is better with Mick. Is we going Cowboy, well, we drafted him, That's what I want to see, bro, because a lot of times your draft picks get outplayed or they're not mature enough at this time. Mm-hmm. Like a Nate Thomas. What if he shines, my brother? Mm-hmm. What if he shines at left tackle? What if he plays well during the preseason? What if he gets with these Rams? What if it happens?
It's happened before.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I've seen it happen with Jimmy. I've seen it happen with a few coaches around the league, but it ain't always happened here.
Well, it happened at right tackle.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Terrence Steele was undrafted.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
But who was the guy ahead of Steele? No one. Okay.
Well, they ran out of guys,
okay.
I think.
Yeah, so I tell people like this.
Look at the starting lineups.
Give these guys, I understand, because, when I ask Will, I say, Will, so this gives Austin Richards a chance at left tackle. He looked me straight in the face and say, no. He cut me off. It's Nate Thomas. Let him show us he can't play. I said, oh, okay. Excuse me.
Yeah, take a step back, buddy.
Lyle Collins was the starting right tackle.
Yeah, and he was so stiff. I got ironing boards got more flexibility than this kid.
Well, and he had gotten hurt, and they moved on from him, right?
Bruh,
So the other thing, to piggyback on what Bill said, they could have started their off-season program a week earlier, and Schottenheimer thought the premium needed to be on coaching his coaches. Make sure when they got the players out there that all the coaches were on the same page.
Yes.
And they were coordinated. And I think we've seen the benefits of that, because these coaches seem to be really prepared for what's going on out here.
Hey, who is the guy? And I meant to look this up. He got a tall afro.
No.
And he's always just running around like the hype man. Who is that? What is this? Chris.
Is it Taekwon Underwood? Yeah.
Lord Jesus, man.
Yeah.
You know what? I just told somebody the other day, because he's the guy that jumps out there and wants them to keep running and running.
Right.
I told somebody, I want that job. I can go out there and wave the guy down the field.
Oh, my God. This dude is excited about
Yeah.
He went up and down all the scouts and all the coaches. We was all standing on the sideline. Just thank y'all for letting me be here. I'm excited. But he just giving everybody a high five like, wow, coach. Hey, I'm excited you're here,
He is the assistant wide receivers coach. Of course, Junior Adams is the wide receivers
well,
coach.
to tell you,
Taekwon played in the league.
He is hyped.
He at the training table one day, he came up and he introduced himself to me.
Wow.
He didn't know me from Adam.
Yeah.
We were in the same line together, and he says, hey, man, I'm da-da-da, who are you? And I told him, how long you been here? And I told him. He goes, oh, okay. So you're right.
Taekwon Underwood out of Rutgers, played with Jacksonville, New England, Tampa Bay, and then in the CFL.
Yeah, man. He when everybody else get their baseball caps, they're going to put a Lincoln hats on his head with the Cowboy star.
Then as far as his coaching experience, he started out in 2018 at Lafayette as the receivers coach. I wonder if John Garrett was still there at Lafayette then. But
that's interesting.
And then Dolphins quality control, then went back to his alma mater, Rutgers, as a wide receivers coach at Pitt. 2 years ago, pass game coordinator, and the Patriots last year as assistant wide receiver coach. So he's got that college coaching experience in him, too.
And Nate's right. His hair stands up about a foot over his head.
Yeah, we're going to put I'm thinking we're going to get one of them Lincoln hats.
Drew Pearson.
Put a big star on the front.
He already wears a Lincoln hat.
Yeah.
Drew Pearson in the day has to take a back seat to this guy's hair.
Yeah.
I like that. So you're telling us that we, at the TV station, we need to go do a story on Taekwon.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, man. These guys, if they can just carry this on, like I say, I don't have no record for these Cowboys. I don't know where this team is going to be. But I like the direction of these coaches and the head coach, the way they're trying to go. Like you said, they're connected with the scouts, because for Will to say what he said, and then I went to another scout and he said the same thing. It's like Nate Thomas, he next guy. And I'm like, whoa, okay, you too deep at every position.
See, here's the other thing is, we in the media, we're just taking a cursory look at everything. Okay,
Yeah.
every now and then. Okay, it's June and out by the pool. Okay, I'll take a look at the depth chart. Whatever.
Right.
You know, these guys are immersed in this stuff.
Yes.
24/7 throughout the off season, and so it's no surprise to anybody back here that Nate Thomas is the next man up.
Right,
Because they've
right.
seen it over the course of the last couple of months during the off-season workouts.
Well,
you know?
and see, the last coaching staff was not into that. Austin Richards was the swing tackle during training camp.
Right.
And so that's what I thought, and he just reinforced what the head coach has been saying. We are going to be competitive, especially early here in camp, to give everybody a rep. That's why they don't waste time doing one-on-one pass rush or one-on-one 7-on-7, wide receiver one-on-one. They want game-type situations and game-type looks, and 11-on-11 gives you that every chance.
Mm-hmm.
They want the refs blowing the whistle.
That's one of the biggest differences
Yes.
in this camp compared to past camps.
No half lines. Let's get the full line.
Yep.
And the pace is fast.
It's fast, man.
They get back to the line into the huddle and to the line of scrimmage, and the ball's off.
All right, let's when we come back, let's talk Clayton Adams, offensive coordinator.
Is he the offensive coordinator or offensive line coach? I'm trying to figure
Connor,
that out.
I think there's a slash there. He's an offensive coordinator who is an offensive line coach.
And more on that when Mick Shots continues in a moment.
Go Cowboys.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
The National Medal of Honor Museum is now open in Arlington, Texas, just a few blocks from AT&T Stadium. Immersive exhibits and exciting technology allow you to fly a rescue helicopter mission in Vietnam and have conversations with virtual Medal of Honor recipients. Come be inspired by these incredible stories of ordinary Americans who did the extraordinary. Get your tickets at mohmuseum.org.
AT&T has a new guarantee because most things in life are not guaranteed, like getting through self-checkout by yourself.
Warning, each item must be placed in the bagging area.
Not guaranteed.
Place item in the bagging area. Place item in the bagging area.
You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, deals you want, and service you deserve. Or we make it right. Terms and conditions apply. Visit att.com/guarantee for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal, writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide, because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Back to Mick Shots.
Cowboys Nation, the 2025 Dallas Cowboys schedule is officially here, and limited tickets are available now. Get ready to bring the noise as you watch the Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium when they host NFC East rivals Eagles, Giants, and Commanders, plus the Packers, Chiefs, Chargers, Vikings, and Cardinals. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official primary ticketing partner of your Dallas Cowboys.
All right, we're now less than a week away from the Los Angeles Rams descending upon Oxnard for a joint practice next Tuesday. We are a week and a half away from the preseason opener at the Los Angeles Rams, a week from Saturday, August 9th. But we got two practices the next couple of days here. after a day off for the players yesterday, and we did talk to the coordinators, and let's talk a little Clayton Adams, the new offensive coordinator for the Cowboys, who we heard from yesterday.
Offensive line
now,
coach.
his title is simply offensive coordinator, but if you look at his history, he has been an offensive line coach throughout his career, most recently with the Arizona Cardinals. He was a tight ends coach with the Indianapolis Colts in 2021-22. Prior to that, assistant offensive line coach with the Colts. And, of course, that he would have been with Matt Eberflus when he was in Indianapolis. Of course, Eberflus on the other side of the ball. He was at Colorado as a running backs coach, tight ends coach, and then offensive line coach from 2013 through 2018. San Jose State tight ends coach 11-12, and prior to that, Sacramento State and Western Washington. You look back at his history, and you can see that he is a Mike McIntyre guy. Remember Mike McIntyre,
Yes.
who was a secondary coach here under Parcells going all the way back to 2006, was the head coach at San Jose State and Colorado. And I like what I hear out of Clayton Adams.
He and Nate's having a hard time with him being the offensive coordinator.
Well, when I go out there today, I'm walking up
offensive
to the
line
offensive
coach.
line coach and say, "Now, which one are you, sir?"
Is it Connor Riley
Connor
or is
Riley,
it Clayton
right?
Adams or is
Can I
it
have
a
a picture?
combination?
And
the
they
guy-
have an
is it a
assistant
picture?
offensive line coach.
See, I've never seen him down there working with the offensive line. I've seen the other
That's
guy.
why his title's offensive coordinator.
He's the
Right.
coordinator. I
But-
just said he had been an offensive line coach.
You know
He
what?
has
They
it in
doubled
his-
down on the
If you
offensive
wasn't my
line.
elder, we would be fighting.
Well, we can fight then if you
Yeah,
want.
not verbally.
You gotta
either.
get
I want
that
I want to
straight.
win. I can't beat you verbally, but I can beat you physically. What you think, Bill?
I think you could too.
I can't beat him verbally.
So, one of the things he said early about getting guys opportunities, it was about nobody gets excited about an injury, but it creates opportunities that we may not have gotten if that
Yes.
guy didn't get hurt.
Right.
Hence, Thomas going in at tackle now for Guyton. Rob Jones goes down. Now you need somebody to be that swing guy at the guard position. Now Awesome Richards gets more. T.J. Bass gets more.
Yes. Yes.
When Steele went down, all of a sudden we learned Adeniji, right?
Yes,
He was the
yeah.
guy that got to go in, and he goes,
Adeniji.
he goes, it's a minus because your guy's not there, but it's a plus that guys are getting snaps that they normally wouldn't have gotten.
And I'm gonna tell you something. When you are dedicated as a coach and trying to put this type system in of competitive competition, a guy don't stay injured long. A little nicky injury, they kind of will go to the trainer and say, "Look here, man, I'm good. I got this." When you, and I like that. That competition, healthy competition, keep a lot of guys off of IR and missing games. Mm-hmm. When you just nick, a difference between nick. Now we have them corners are hurt. These guys are hurt, but a little sprained ankle, unless it's a high ankle sprain, what are you doing?
Well, let me give you an example of that. Rob Jones, when he suffered the fracture on his vertebrae, he didn't say anything to anybody. He finished the darn practice.
Right.
It's your vertebrae.
And he didn't run to the locker room after practice. He sat out there on the field and worked with the young first-round draft pick on technique stuff.
And what is your
Tyler
vertebrae guard? Your spine, right? That's serious stuff. And, I don't know if he saw what was on the T-shirts, the sweatshirts that say compete every day, but he wasn't going to come off the field.
And I think the coach, offensive line coach, preaches that the way they work, the speed at which they work. I think sometimes when you're that adrenaline flowing, and that what got us through back in the day. How did y'all get through the practice? It was the adrenaline. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how that thing can build itself up and can tolerate more than you think through adrenaline, just nonstop adrenaline, and so I like where we're at. I like how they're practicing. And you mentioned earlier, Mick, teasingly, like, oh, let's stop padded practices. I was asked that question yesterday. What do you think about
really?
it? And I was like, bruh, please don't stop. Please. These injuries that are happening is because guys fell on the ground. These are one injuries where somebody got hit or somebody, ran into somebody and blew a knee up. These guys were on the ground and they got rolled up on. That happens every day. That happens in soccer, basketball, practice. That's just a bad accident.
Right.
Don't stop the padded practices. Don't stop the tempo, because they're going to win a game or two early just because they're in great shape, just because they're in great conditioning.
All right, one thing that Clayton Adams did talk about was the running back room. I really like our running back group.
That stood out to me also, yeah.
And I want to apologize because I've been so engrossed in the offensive line and watching the receivers. I haven't even watched the running backs. That's bad on my part, but I want to see what the receiver's going to do, who's that third or fourth guy going to be, and I want to see what the offensive line going to do. And the running backs will, if we get a running back that can help the offensive line be better, then I may start looking at them. But I think it's the other way around right now. I think the offensive line going to have to make the running backs better.
I think I didn't know much about Javonte Williams, and I've been kind of impressed with him on how he's able to hit the hole and then cut, not start cutting before he gets to the hole. He puts his foot in the ground and goes. So I've noticed that. Miles Sanders hasn't lost a step.
No, he hasn't.
And right?
He hasn't. I seen him break an opening, and I seen some DBs thought they was going to come get him. It didn't work.
He blows right by him, right?
It didn't work. I'm like, whoa, who was that? I thought it was the young blue, but it was him.
Yeah, and that guy can run also, and he looks to be getting more comfortable, especially in the passing game. So I think we got to see this thing play out.
All right, we're out of time. We got the Dak car wash for the local TV people today. You got a question for Dak?
You're out of time. See if he remembers how old he is.
Okay.
He had a birthday.
He did yesterday. He had a
right?
birthday.
32.
All right.
Dak is moving around well in practice.
He is.
He's moving around well,
and
man.
you know what? The ball's not on the ground all that much unless guys aren't catching it.
Thank you. That is my big issue, y'all. Watch our receivers, please.
Okay.
Catch the ball. That's going to be the next T-shirt.
All right. That does it for this edition of Mix Shots, and we're going to do this again. How about we do it again on Friday? You want to do it Friday?
Cool. Yeah.
Friday, 9 o'clock Pacific time, 11 o'clock
Is there a practice
Dallas
that day?
time. There is no practice that day, so we can go long that day, Producer Supreme. All right, that does it for Mix Shots, and we will see you again next time.
And go Cowboys.
Mix Shots!
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?